Hello students. Today we will learn about the next topic in the chapter 3, that is the general principles of stratigraphy. Let us see what are the different principles which are we going to use. Let us see brief introduction about stratigraphy. Stratigraphy is nothing but the study of the strata. Okay, here strata, which means the sedimentary layers in the earth's crust, and it is a relationship between the rocks along with the time. This is called stratigraphy. Stratigraphers are concerned with the observation, description, and interpretation of direct and tangible evidences in rock to determine the study of the history of the earth. Okay, so the stratigraphers, I repeat, who are stratigraphers? The people who observe those changes. Stratigraphers are concerned with observation, concerned with the observation, description, and interpretation. Okay, description and interpretation of the direct and the tangible, of the direct and tangible evidence in the rock to determine the history of the earth. To determine the history of earth. Also, the combination of this sedimentology and stratigraphy will allow us to build up some pictures of the earth's crust at the different times in the different places, and also helps us to relate to each other to know the relative ages of the rock. Okay, let us see the basic principles of stratigraphy. What is the first principle? It is principle of uniformitarianism, and the second one is principle of lateral horizontality. Third one, principle of superposition. Fourth one, principle of cross-cutting relations. Fifth one, inclusions. Sixth one, chilled margins, and the seventh one is correlation. First one, let me repeat. Principle of uniformitarianism. Second one, principle of lateral horizontality. Okay. What is the third one? Principle of superposition. What is the fourth one? Principle of cross-cutting relation. What is the fifth one? Principle of inclusions. Let us see what each one mean. Principle of chilled margins and correlation. Let us see briefly about each and every principle. Briefly, what do you mean by principle of uniformitarianism? It was first proposed by James Hutton in the year 1726 to 1797. Generally, he examined rocks in Scotland, and he noted that the features like mud cracks, ripple marks, graded bedding, and so on. He observed that the same features that could be seen forming in modern environments, and that past geologic events can be explained by the phenomenon and the forces which are observable today. He observed that. So he concluded that the processes are currently operating on the earth must be the same processes that operated in the past. Later on he stated as the present is the key of the past. What did he stated? The present is the key to the past. He stated that by various observations. See, this is what present is the key to the past. See, how does it look? Little bit similar. Coming to the second thing, that is principles of lateral horizontality. Here, the sedimentary strata are deposited in the layers which are horizontal or nearly horizontal, and also they are parallel to the Earth's surface. It was told by Nicola Steno, 1638 to 1686. Also, the sediments which deposited on the steep slopes will be washed away, where if they are deposited in nearly horizontal layers, they get buried. If they are deposited at the steep slopes, they get washed away. But deposited at the horizontal strata, they get buried. So thus rocks that we see them now are inclined or folded have been disturbed after the deposition. Okay. So the things which we are seeing are not the steep ones. Okay. What is the third one? The third one is nothing but the principle of superposition. What does this mean? This law will state that in a sequence of sedimentary layers, each layer must be younger than the one below and older than the one above. Okay, this was stated by Nicholas Tenon. It is obvious, right? Because the Earth's gravity, deposition of sediment will occur depositing the older layers first, then followed by successive younger layers. So, in a sequence of layers that have not been overturned by a later deformation event. Okay, this is very easy. Superposition. First the older one, next the younger one. So this is how it look. They get older. First the older one coming to the younger one. What is the fourth one? Fourth one is the principle of cross-cutting relations. It was first developed by again Nicola Steno in 1669. Also, it was modified or formulated by Hutto in 1795, and it embellished upon by Charles Lyell in 1830. If one geologic feature cuts across another, then that feature has been cut is older. Okay? Because it is already cut earlier. Younger features are truncate, cut across the older features. Because those features are already present. Now the new features or the younger features are cutting or truncating. For example, a sequence of sedimentary rocks which are cut by the basalt dike. So we know that these layers had to present before the intrusion of the dike, where dike is younger than them. Okay, this is what happens. See, this is how it happens. They're already present, the older one, and this is the younger one. They're cutting. Okay. Coming to the fifth one, that is principle of inclusions. Here, if we found a rock fragment which is enclosed within another rock, then we say that the fragment is in inclusion. Inclusion. This is included. Also, they had to be present before they could be included in the younger rock. They always represent the fragments of the older rock. Then only they can be present in the younger rock, right? For example, a fault which cuts the same sequence but does not cut the basalt. Thus, we know that the fault is younger than the sediments but older than the dike. Okay. See, this is what? This is an inclusion which is older and this is covered by a younger rock. Okay. Coming to the sixth one, that is principle of chilled margins. What do you mean by that? When a hot magma, which is intrudes into cold country rock, then the magma along the margins of the intrusion will cool more rapidly than the interior. Okay. Here, fine grained rock or glassy rock will be along the margin, whereas coarser grain will be farther away from the margin. Chilled margins younger than the surrounding rock because the surrounding rock has to have there first in order to cause the cooling effect. This is obvious, right? Let me repeat. Chilled margins younger than surrounding rock because the surrounding rock had to have been first in order to cause the cooling effect. It is already present in order to cause the cooling effect. Okay. See, this is how it appears. This is a coarse grain present. This is a fine grain. It looks like this. Coming to the seventh one, that is correlation. Here we are determining the time equivalency of rock units, like how it is changing with respect to the time relation. Okay. Rock units may be correlated with a region or continent, even between continents, like one country to another country, one place to another place, based on the matching physical features such as rock unit, similar rock types like marker beds, coal seam, rare materials, odds, evens, color. These are all based on these many things. So the fossils represent the living creatures that have evolved through the time. Example is fossil. See, this is the correlating of beds using the index fossils. 1, 2, 3. We are indicating like how they are and are they changing, etc. with time and space. Finally, we can tell that principle of stratigraphy are nothing but the geological tools that helps in determine the relative age, number of existing events, field relations, and also can be estimated from one outcrop to another. Okay, thank you.